Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. Wanted to share a little story. Sometimes you guys like my insight, you like my little stories I tell. I remember years back, there was a guy, I might have told this story before, he used to do decks. He was always on his phone. We're at my ex. We're at a wedding event, right? And I remember thinking, man, that guy's just so important. I want to be that guy. Well, I became that guy. And I realized, and I'm telling you this because if you're new to the industry, why you might not want to, you might start hitting points in there where you go, I think I'm crazy. You're not crazy. You're there with us. And so this vortex I always talk about that starts building. So what happens is all these phone calls start coming, right? And one day you realize that all these phone calls are not for, hey, have a good day. How you doing today? Hey, I got money to pay you. Hey, I owe you something. Hey, I got something for you. Hey, I want to give you a lottery ticket. I want to give you some donuts. You start realizing that every time it's problems. It's problems and problems. And it can be from politics, it can be from estimating, it can be from product not being right, all kinds of things, right? So the reason I even started this video tonight was I came to the shop, we did a big job, the van's full of cardboard, so we cleaned it out. And as I pulled in, we're supposed to have a big rainstorm tomorrow. Today's Saturday. And nobody cares more about this stuff because, right, it affects your pocketbook, right? That's when it comes down to. When it affects your pocketbook, people have a concern, right? Well, all of a sudden I pulled in here and I'm thinking, well, god darn it. These are commercial garage door openers. I'm sure these aren't cheap. I'm probably sure they're $600, $800, $1,200 a piece. And they're going to sit in the rain. Oh, no, they're not. Because I caught it. Luckily, I caught it, though. So, I'm going to tarp them tonight. What I'm getting at is there's so many variables to this business. Now, sure, your guys, everybody's hustling, right? Everybody's hustling. You think, well, you gotta do better. Yeah, you do. You gotta do better. But that's the problem, is you're always fighting that gotta do better. And if you're going to become an owner, you guys are kind of heavy. I'm going to sit you down for a second if I can. There, that's better. If you're thinking, you're making so much money and you're doing all this. One thing I've learned in this business sometimes is not that it's not bad. I'm very blessed. I just feel like now that we have the power of the internet, I want to teach you guys, right? Nobody taught me this stuff. Right? I didn't have this. I had to learn it from scratch. I had to learn it from hard knocks. I mean, I'm at like 15 or 20 years of experience. And I tell you what, it's like a crystal ball. I could tell you every time what it's going to say. Those little black ones, those 8 balls that say a prediction on them or something. I've been doing this so long. It's not even like I could go blind and I could tell you what's wrong with stuff, right? Just by the sounds it makes, the noise, the delays. Because when you do it for so long, it's like a violist? I don't know, playing a guitar, a piano, anything like that, an instrument. So, one thing you got to understand is a lot of times you can't scale out in this stuff. And that's something I want you to be aware of, or my kids to be aware of. Is because there's always going to be that next guy that's trying to, the problem with this business too is you can train somebody and you can't just pull out of their head what you trained them and throw it in the next guy, right? They see the numbers, they think you're making all this money, right? When they don't realize behind the scenes how much work you got to do. The Saturdays, the Sundays, the nights that you got to put in. And you got to catch all these things, right? To be profitable. Not that I'm not bashing this. I'm not bashing it. It's been good. But what I'm saying is there's better out there. There is better. And, you know, I always say this stuff, you know, like with vending machines, rentals, real estate. There's so many other things you could do, online sales stuff. Because, you know, for instance, when we were up at the job, I was thinking about it. I thought, man, when we're up here, it was a commercial job. I thought, what if OSHA shows up, right? We ended up pulling the trailer back, my one utility trailer. We had a little bit butt heavy, you know, the trailer swaying, right? There's all these variables. These trucks, the thing is, they don't go up in value. This thing, look, the rack's rusting, right? So you get rust down here. All this stuff depreciates, right? It's just wear and tear. This thing's gonna, up here in Michigan, it's gonna rot away. So you're always fighting these vehicles sometimes. So you gotta make sure you're making money. You gotta make sure you're collecting that money too. That's why it's so important. Every job you do, you gotta be collecting. But anyways, I wanted to jump on here for a second, guys, and just tell you, Saturday night blues. But I pulled in, the guys unloaded this. I know they were rushed that day, but sometimes they gotta slow down. And I thought, God darn it, man, these openers are going to be sitting in the soggy rain all Saturday or Sunday. Today's Saturday. I thought, man, there goes those openers. And it's just one of those things, you got to babysit everything. So it's like people go, you know, they always, you know, well, get more employees. That's always not the solution. That's not the solution. And people age and your customers change. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't even know. You know, I always remember a guy telling me, a contractor said, it's gotta suck in your business. He says, because you build a relationship with somebody, they sell the business, or they leave, maybe their management. And my gosh, isn't that the truth? You know, you can have a relationship with one guy, he leaves in the business, and poof, they just bring in another guy. We've had a couple customers recently that the owners sold the business and we fired them as customers. It just went totally downhill. So it's always evolving, right? And then the worst part is like, you know how this goes, right? You get somebody that comes in, right? They got to get a quote. And what they'll do is your competition, right? They'll just do a dirty, cheap quote just to get in the door, right? Because they want them as a customer. Then you do it as a normal bid, and they'll end up, the customer, you know, if they're a good customer, they'll call you out on it and they'll say, hey, I really like you, but your numbers are off. You know what I mean? Or sometimes they just go, we'll just go with the cheapest guy. And all of a sudden the new guy comes in. Maybe they like the new guy, maybe not. You know what I mean? And then that guy takes over your, you know, it's kind of like insurance, right? I guarantee if you call around for insurance right now, car insurance, house insurance, you'll find cheaper insurance, right? And you'll be like, oh, they've been ripping me off for months, $200, right? Well, the problem is eventually it'll start gradually going back up. You'll be in the same situation. You can even call back to your old insurance company, and they'll be cheaper at one point or another, right? Because that's just how the game always goes. So I just want to bring some of this stuff to your guys' attention. I hope you guys are doing wonderful. Hope you're doing great. I'm in my overalls today. I'm just kind of chilling, you know, listening to some tunes. I'm going to tarp this thing up, though. I got to clean out this van. Oh, and another thing. When you're a contractor, you're always dealing with a mess. Everything's a mess. I was going to take a picture at the job the other day. This wasn't even my guys. It was other guys. They're all the back. Their vans are a mess. You know what I mean? Because you're always dealing with a mess. Always. It's always a mess. Somebody's got to fix this stinking seal. The seal just keeps falling down. It needs to get fixed. And the tires need to get rotated. And the brakes need to be checked. And the van didn't have an oil change. It was 1,000 miles over, so I got the oil changed on it. There's just always so much to do. I'm having a little fun on Saturday. All right, guys, take care. I love y'all. See ya. Keep hustling. I don't tell you this to depress you. I just tell you this for the truth. Because you might think, you just go, oh my gosh. You see all these numbers, right? I'm making so much money. Yeah. Okay. I'll tell that to the other businesses locally here that just went out of business. Because they were so busy, but being busy doesn't mean being profitable. You have to be profitable. And when gas prices jump $1 in a day, you lose all your money. See you guys.